My lawyers and team will do what they got to do to and to prove that, and in court, and against Ryan Garcia, and we will take legal action to because it has affected me, not only my financially, but mentally, everything.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. And this might be officially more serious than I even thought, even though I got it right. Devin Haney is no longer a champion. Check out my last video. It did over 40,000 views right here on the internet. And a lot of you guys commented, Devin Haney is no longer a champion. Now we get a little bit more information as to why Devin Haney is not a champion and what exactly was said. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Devin Haney said, quote, he is not physically, mentally, or emotionally fit. He is unfit to defend his title against Sandor Martin, right? At 140 pounds. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let me just show you. Brand new article with Boxing Scene. The WBC designates Devin Haney as champion in recess. They order the fight with Sandor Martin and Puello in a title fight, which I just told you. The very first paragraph, and it states, Devin Haney telling the WBC, the World Boxing Council, that he is, quote, physically, mentally, and emotionally unfit to immediately defend his 140-pound title, his belt. So therefore, he has been moved to a champion in recess, and then Albert Puello is the full champion, and he's going to need to fight Devin Haney's mandatory, or what was Devin's mandatory, Sandor Martin, for the junior welterweight title. Once again, keep these words, these trio of words, in your memory bank, because I will get back to it. He told the WBC that he is physically, mentally, and emotionally unfit to defend his title. Wow. WB President Mauricio Suleiman, he told the website on Monday that he ordered Alberto Puello versus Sandor Martin, and the belt needs to take place in the next 4 months. And once again, Devin Haney's team petitioned the WBC to be replaced as champion as he takes all the time he needs to recover. He's not ready to fight, Suleiman said of the 25-year-old Haney, whose April 20th majority decision loss to a 3-pound overweight Ryan Garcia was changed to a no contest last Thursday. Athletic Commission indefinitely suspended Garcia through at least April 20th of 2025, which I went over, dealt him a maximum $10,000 fine. Ryan makes so much money, that ain't ish, payable to the state, and ordered him to return the $1.2 million in guaranteed purse money, the non-pay-per-view earnings, to Golden Boy Promotions, which I don't even understand that, because is Golden Boy really going to ask for the $1.2 million back from Ryan? Maybe they take a cut of it, but I highly doubt they give it back. Ryan submitted 3 positive pre-fight tests for the banned performance Osterine before knocking Haney down 3 times in the bout. It says, and I quote, I absolutely support Devin Haney and agree with his reasons why he needs a layoff, Suleiman said. What happened to Haney in New York is one of the greatest injustices I've seen in boxing. Meeting a fighter who did not make weight, who played mind games and had performance enhancing drugs in his system, and Haney still fought like a warrior, which nobody's really taken that away from Haney, that he picked himself up and he did show mettle by getting back up, but he was badly hurt and it was a nightmarish type of fight. Suleiman continues. He got knocked down 3 times and it was really like 6, 8 times, but whatever. 3 that were actually recorded by the referee. He got knocked down 3 times, and while many others would have stayed on the canvas, he got up every time. I respect Devin Haney after that fight more than ever, and I will fully support any decision he makes. Now, Suleiman, he's saying kind of the PC thing, but he already, before any of this, he already said that he supports Ryan Garcia too. So it's just funny. Suleiman's kind of playing both sides with the WBC. He's like, oh man, this is one of the greatest injustices in modern sports. The fighter did not make weight. And like you got to listen to what people say. Some of what people are saying makes no sense. The reality is, the only thing people can truly get mad at and quote unquote blame Ryan for is ostarine in his system. As a boxer, you are responsible for anything that's in your system. If you're taking supplements, you need to get your supplements tested. And if you don't, then you roll the dice. And then when this happens, then you have no one to blame but yourself. That's it. I keep seeing Suleiman and other people, they're talking about, like he just said, Ryan who played mind games. Floyd plays mind games. That is not a part. That is not a part of this. Ryan acted weird. Would I have done that? Absolutely not. And I told you his antics were immature. They were very adolescent and juvenile and things like that. But he was trying to get under the man's skin, or he has mental issues. Whatever caused him to act the way he did, it is what it is. But people keep laundry listing that Ryan had antics and he was full of antic and mind games. That's not anything egregious. There's a lot of fighters who try to get in the head of the other person. No diddy. The only thing, again, that you can fault Ryan for is truly the banned substance in his system, ostarine. That's it. Suleiman said he did not make weight. I've already explained this. Under normal circumstance, the onus would go on the person who missed weight. But Devin had a opportunity to A, cancel the fight, which he should have done. B, continue to fight on the card, but just fight a different opponent, either somebody last minute, or they even brought in Arnold Barboza, or they had the guy Barboza fought in the same weight class, the Irish dude. You should have fought one of them. Ryan missed weight by an alarming 3.2 pounds. That is entirely his fault. You choosing to fight this man who came in over 3.2 pounds, that is entirely your fault. Because again, you could have fought Barboza or the guy Barboza fought. You could have canceled the event and said, hey, Ryan is aggressively overweight. He's already stronger than me. He's bigger than me. And he beat me in the amateurs. He has speed and power. I'm not fighting this dude that can't make weight. I made the weight, right? And then the pressure would have all been on Ryan Garcia. And we as a boxing populace would have blamed Ryan Garcia like, you bonehead, you ruined this fight because the fight got canceled because of your unprofessionalism. That's how that works. Devin and his team, I don't know how many times I have to say it, they approached this with arrogance. They thought it was sweet. They thought they could do what Tank did and stop Ryan and make Ryan quit and all of these things. And you can't make your bed and not lie in it. You can't agree to these things, take and accept payoff penalty money, and then cry when it doesn't work your way. I'm going to always rebuke that. I'm not good with people missing weight. That is BS if somebody misses weight. The point I'm making is very clear and very simple. It's not that Ryan's not to blame for missing weight. It's when he did miss the weight and he went on Twitter bragging about it like, ah, ha, ha, I got the weight advantage. You should have been like, yo, this dude's a clown. He been tripping the whole press conference. I had a serious camp. I don't know, he's liable to do anything, and he came in 3+ pounds, this fight is over. It's not worth it. But between clout chasing Tank and trying to chase Tank, the Haneys made a miscalculation and underestimated Ryan's ability in that given situation and proceeded with the fight. Any team that loves their fighter would not allow a person who allegedly is the B-side, which we know Ryan wasn't the B-side, but I say allegedly because Bill Haney said that Devin was the face of boxing and it's the Devin Haney era. So if you really believe that, there's no A-side that would move like this and let the B-side toy with you and do whatever they want. And you got like Bill Haney, who was trying to hand out a boxing for psychology for dummies book, right? Obviously the Haneys needed the psychology for dummies book because Ryan played you and finessed you. So again, Ryan missing weight, Ryan's problem. Cancel the fight. But you also wanted an event. You have this, the Haneys thought that Devin was ready for pay-per-view and ready to contend with Tank with the numbers. So you had an event that you thought was a big event and you proceeded with this stuff. There were many opportunities where this fight could have been canceled, and that's literally what I was saying should have happened before Devin even lost. They rolled the dice and they crapped out, period. So Suleiman talking about the mind games, there's nothing wrong with mind games in boxing. Him talking about he didn't make weight, again, as I just explained, Ryan not making weight, the blame would have been fully on him. But the moment you accept this man's money and change it, like, here's an example. I'm the king of analogies. Let me think of an example on the spot. So if you're in Las Vegas and you said, hey, take me to the Strip, and the Uber driver or Lyft driver knows how much they're getting for that, and then the person says, hey, take me to Summerlin in Las Vegas, which is not next to the Strip, but you could charge me for it and I'll give you a $25 tip. And the driver agrees to that. They punch it in on the app and reroute to, instead of you just dropping me off at Summerlin or you drop me off at the Strip, we're now rerouting. The Uber driver or Lyft driver agrees to this. Then they try to take you to Summerlin, and let's say there was an accident, so they end up being in traffic to take you to this newfound spot that wasn't part of the original drop-off location, but you already accepted their money and said you would take them, and you took their money, their $25 tip and whatever you're getting. So I can understand from an Uber driver perspective, they would be mad if they're dealing with one customer and they thought they could get to Summerlin in 10, 15 minutes. But because of the accident, it took an hour and a half and you could have done several rides in that time. I understand that. That's exactly what went on with Ryan Garcia. The moment you accepted the new destination and the rerouted destination and took the person's money, it is your fault. That's what Devin Haney did. He could have just dropped him off at the Las Vegas Strip, which was the original destination. He chose to proceed with this and take penalty money. Then I'm not using that against Ryan. And you know, people can argue, oh, but it helped Ryan. And I mean, you shouldn't have fought him then, period. Then again, like I said, Suleiman's saying, I respect Devin Haney after this fight more than ever. But then Devin's complaining that Suleiman ran a purse bid when he was trying to get closure from the Ryan Garcia investigation with Osterine and the New York State Athletic Commission. Boom. Says, while Devin Haney is believed to have gained 8 figures in earnings from the Ryan Garcia fight, the WBC purse bid for him to fight Sandor Martin only drew one bidder, Top Rank, and the bid to pay both fighters would have landed Haney just over $1.6 million. Haney's attorney, Pat English, told Boxing Scene Monday that he's not going to discuss a potential lawsuit against Ryan Garcia until it's filed. It says until it's filed. So he's already flexed like, I may pursue charges on Ryan Garcia because he's messed up my money, which keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Financial strain suffered from the Ryan Garcia fight. It says that leaves WBC mandatory Sandor Martin to meet Puello for Haney's vacated belt. That's actually incorrect. I don't know why this is being published, because my understanding is Alberto Puello got lifted to the full champion, and that's from the WBC. So this article is incorrect, right? It says concurrently therewith, the WBC Board of Governors declared current interim world champion Alberto Puello as WBC World Super Lightweight Champion. So I don't know why Boxing Scene has this article and the information is not correct. They keep saying that Puello is the challenger. I seen it somewhere else at the beginning, right? It said immediately order Puello, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not the part. It says former world champion Alberto Puello. That's it. Those words. Former world champion. That is incorrect. Because, and then again, they said in this article that Sandor Martin has to fight new interim champion Puello. This is not what the WBC says on their own website. So I'm going to take the WBC because they're the ones that came up with the rules and voted. It says the WBC Board of Governors declared current interim world champion Alberto Puello as the WBC super lightweight champion, meaning he's just been bumped up. Devin's out, champion in recess, made a video about it. This man is champion. Sandor Martin will be the mandatory challenger and they have to fight. So I don't know what's up with Boxing Scene since they got sold or why they're saying this. It's not for, it is for Haney's vacated belt, but the belt is owned by Alberto Puello. He even went on social media and said, thank you, I prayed for this moment or something, right? And then Gary Russell has options on the winner of Sandor Martin and Puello. So very interesting stuff. Every case is treated according to the given situation. It all depends on Haney. I don't want to jump on something that's a hypothetical and say something that is inappropriate. Additionally, it's believed Haney as champion in recess will have a leg up if he opts to move to welterweight, where Texas's Mario Barrios was recently elevated. Again, that's like prying for information. Mario Barrios is in negotiation with Pacquiao. There's no way he would fight Devin Haney if a Pacquiao fight is right there. So back to Devin Haney, bro. This look real bad. It says, and I quote, he's not ready to fight, Mauricio Solomon said. Devin Haney's team petitioned the WBC, meaning they requested to be champions in recess because they weren't trying to fight Sandor Martin. So now people are going to say you duck Sandor Martin. But this part is really concerning. WBC was told by Devin, quote, that he's physically, mentally, and emotionally unfit to defend against Sandor Martin. Wow. That Ryan beating really took a toll on Devin Haney. He's saying he's not mentally fit to compete, and he's not mentally fit to fight his mandatory, who's been patiently waiting. Wow. Now, your boy Ego gets it right again. Ego Stradamus strikes again. The best in the business, and it's not even close. I told you, one, that Devin was going to vacate. Two, that Devin needs to take really a year off, right? Because of the punishment was so immense in the Ryan Garcia fight. And people are like, no, Ryan cheated. And I'm like, yo, if he cheated, if he didn't cheat, Osterine, it doesn't take back the punishment that I watched, that I witnessed. Devin needs a year off. So apparently Devin's team agrees with Boxing Ego because they're saying that they're taking a year or two off. And he's now saying he's not mentally, physically, or emotionally available to fight for the WBC. So This is what I told you. Devin was in between a rock and a hard place from this Ryan Garcia fight. It was everything but a dream for Devin the Dream Haney. This was an utter nightmare. The fight didn't perform like you expected, not only in the ring, like with pictures like this, but also financially. That fight came and went, and then the only reason we're still talking about it is because of the soap opera and the drama that is Haney Garcia, right? But you got dropped a gang of times. It hurt your reputation. There's endless images like this where you're floored and dropped, and then now you're saying you're not emotionally ready, physically and mentally ready to even fight again. So Ryan really did a number on Devin Haney, and it sounds like has a lot of doubts. He didn't want to go into a Sandor Martin fight. You only had one bidder, which is Top Rank, and then the money, you would have had to take a pay cut. But here's the kicker. I honestly think the Sandor Martin fight was probably the best fight that Devin could take coming off of the Ryan Garcia fight, because it's not an immense puncher. Sandor Martin, at best, he has sneaky power. He might be able to hurt you or drop you. We've seen it with Teofimo, but he's not the biggest puncher, and he's not the most relentless style. So all those types of styles, I think, would be even worse for someone who suffered got battered around like Devin Haney got battered in the Ryan Garcia fight. So this is crazy. This is truly crazy. It is very apparent to me this Ryan Garcia loss has affected Devin Haney, which I told you it would, because it was a battery, right? And it's affected him so much that he's contradicted himself. There's many contradictions here. When he went to ESPN, he said he has no interest in fighting Ryan Garcia in a rematch. Of course, people said, why won't you fight Ryan with stringent drug testing, a clean rematch? And he received a lot of backlash. Then he switched it and said that he would fight Ryan after he serves his suspension. But here's the kicker. I don't think that Devin wants to truly fight Ryan Garcia. Here's why. Because his dad and him, his manager, his dad, his trainer, and himself, the Haneys, have pitched that Ryan should receive a longer or a lifetime ban. So these two things are going in opposite directions. If you really truly wanted to rematch a person, you wouldn't want them indefinitely suspended for a lifetime, because then you wouldn't be able to rematch, because they wouldn't be able to get a license if they were receiving a lifetime ban. And it also shows you the Haney's mentality that they want a lifetime ban. Cheating is bad. We understand that. We know that. But Gerald Big Baby Miller didn't get a lifetime ban, and he had more hardcore like anabolics in his system. They have someone in camp, Alicia Bumgardner, who had 2 positive tests, 2 different banned substances. They didn't ask for a lifetime ban for her, but you want one from Ryan, which shows me you don't really truly want the rematch. Again, that's like saying Little Caesars Pizza is your favorite pizza place and you can't wait to eat a slice, but then you're also calling, the food inspector or hoping they go out of business. Doesn't make sense. If it's your favorite pizzeria, you want to patronize that pizza parlor because you want to keep them in business. You're not going to be saying, oh, they got, unhealthy standards and calling people to try to get them closed down if you truly liked the pizza place and thought it was a good experience. Just in the same way, you wouldn't say, I want Ryan banned forever, but I want to rematch him. Doesn't even make sense. And to be honest, what this sounds like to me, he says he is physically, mentally, and emotionally unfit to fight Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin, again, is probably the best fight you can take right now. So if you're mentally, physically unfit, what this sounds like to me is what you guys heard at the beginning. Devin Haney and his team, I think, are truly looking to pursue. I don't know if they do it and pull the trigger, but I think this is like it's like a precursor and setting the stage to a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia. And we haven't seen this in boxing. Yes, we've seen people get sued, like Floyd got sued by Manny Pacquiao for defamation, but not like this over a fight when the person loses and then it gets overturned. They get their record expunged and cleaned up. And then now they're saying, hey, you messed it up for me. The fact that I went through that. So I'm considering suing you. But that's what it truly sounds like. Devin Haney, he keeps saying the same thing, that he's mentally, physically, and emotionally drained and unfit, right? He said that in that other interview. So that leads me to believe that this is something they really could be considering, a lawsuit to Ryan Garcia. He's going to have to talk to his attorneys because I don't know what you can get him on. This is not Law and Order. I'm not Judge Judy. I ain't passed the bar, but I know a little bit. All I'm going to say is this. I'd have to see what the lawsuit entails and what the actual complaint is, if it's even filed. But this is going to be hard to actually present a case against Ryan Garcia and nail him to something. What are you going to do? Ryan is saying he unintentionally ingested supplements with Ostarine. How do you actually prove that this was premeditated? He intended to do this. He wanted to maim and slaughter you and things like that. I think that's just hard to prove. You could say, oh, Ostarine's in his system, but he's not copping to it. Since day one, he's professed his innocence. I'm not talking about if the fans believe it or not. I'm talking about in the court of law, you have to be able to prove what you're accused. You can't just say, oh, Johnny shot K. And then they're like, how you know? Oh, I just have a feeling because he used to talk bad about him. That's all circumstantial. That is not enough to convict somebody, right? So again, I'd have to see what Devin Haney's even suing for, because even the lane, it sounds like he's kind of going to about financial loss or financial strain. How do you even prove that? Because Eddie Hearn has interviews before you even lost to Ryan Garcia, and he was saying that the Sandor and Haney fight, Devin's gonna have to take a pay cut. And that's someone who's worked with Devin Haney. Eddie Hearn said that beforehand. So how do you prove that it was the Ryan fight on April 20th, which is the sole reason why Top Rank was the only bidder on your fight? Ryan's side could easily argue that that's just an ugly fight stylistically, and it's not a desirable fight. That's why Top Rank was the only person to bid, because they have a contract with Sandor Martin. Again, saying it is one thing, proving it in court and having it stick, completely different. That's why you watch actual Fed cases in RICO. When the feds come for you, they've been surveying the mob or BMF so long. They have the appropriate paperwork, the wiretaps, all of that. And they don't strike until they have enough damaging evidence, where that's why they have a conviction rate of like 85% or better, because when they get you, they got you. Devin Haney, a lot of his case that I can think of would even be circumstantial, because Ryan would just say, I didn't do this on purpose. And he said so many bogus, crazy things online. How can you hold his tweets against him when he said all types of reckless stuff that we know aren't true? You know, he's talking about Drake and XX Tentacion. He said he knows who shot Tupac. He said he slept with people's wives. I mean, he just said a whole lot of random gibberish. So what are you going to bring his tweets up in the court of law? So again, this looks bad for Devin Haney. And you could tell that this was not expected. The arrogance from Team Haney, they didn't think this was possible to lose to Ryan, especially in this fashion. The reason I know this to be the case, on top of being the best in the business, boom. Before the fight, you see it, April 4th of this year, 326 views. So this was weeks before the fight. Devin Haney said, and I quote, I told Eddie Hearn, I'm not vacating nothing. I want all the smoke. So Devin Haney, when he's saying I'm going through mental pain and anguish and I'm emotionally not right and unfit to compete, he's telling the truth. This has really rattled him. And when he's doing interviews, he sounds all stuttery. Like when he was on ESPN, when he's talking about a lawsuit, he's just using a lot of filler. And it's like he can't even get his thoughts out. even Ryan said on Twitter, Devin can't even string a sentence together. He just seems too frantic, if you will. But I'm showing you the proof. He said online on his verified page, I told Eddie Hearn I'm not vacating nothing. I want all the smoke. Fast forward to the future, you are vacating something because he has your belt, Alberto Puello, and this whole article explains it. In my previous video, explains how Devin Haney vacated his belt rather than fighting Sandor Martin. So you said before the fight, you're not vacating anything. You want all the smoke. Well, I guess somewhere along the lines that changed because you let them make you a champion in recess. It says he requested it, right? Under the pretense that he's not mentally, physically ready to go back into any fight. And WBC saying they supported it and their committee granted it. But this is just bad look for Devin Haney. Devin Haney's team petitioned the WBC to be replaced as champion in recess. As he takes time, he needs to recover. So the road back is a long one. Devin's talking about fighting his own weight class. He's talking about suing Eddie Hearn. His side has burned some of the bridges. I mean, he said he don't want Ryan. Then he said he does want Ryan. He's now just a regular person with no belt. I mean, where does he even go from here? So many serious questions right now. Eddie Hearn's throwing him under the bus, saying why he didn't bid on the fight. Devin got his own promotion. Why didn't they bid on the fight? I mean, he's totally getting put through the ringer, and his mental toughness is definitely going to be tested in the upcoming moments. So Devin saying that he's mentally, physically, and emotionally not fit to fight is not a good thing, because Devin Haney's whole, like, this is the guy that said he'll beat Tank, and look at what's being said. He's not mentally, and the thing is, Devin is not the first person that has ever been cheated. There's a lot of people who've been cheated one way or another, cheated by refs, judges, cheated with Paris of plaster and loaded wraps and skin gloves. People who've been cheated with, you know, I've even seen there's situations where people have had two different glove sizes, right? Where you had to wear 10s and then your opponent got 8s on or something, you know, cheating with PEDs, of course. And look at how Devin is taking this. He doesn't seem to be taking it well, talking about suing Ryan Garcia. Again, I'll wait. I want to see this. Sue Ryan Garcia. People said, oh, ego protected Ryan Garcia. Sue him. He's already being sued by Logan Paul in Prime. I want to see how this unfolds. I'm about to get a lot of views. Why would I protect any fighter? Look at how dumb that sounds. Why would the best in the business, and it's not even close, need to protect Ryan Garcia? He's a multi-millionaire. And if you sue him, sue him. I'm just curious how this plays out and give you my perspective. I don't really understand what your case is. I don't know how you can prove, like, you could speculate, oh, we're not getting the same opportunity. But Ryan's team could argue, hey, you got your O back, you undefeated. This was unintentional. So it's like the fight never happened. So why can't you continue with your career? It's just really weird. But nonetheless, Devin is not a champion. And he says he's not even fit to compete versus Sandor Martin. And that's the other thing. People are going to say he ducked Sandor Martin. I promise you, you'll see. You'll see. Like always, Boxing Ego just keeps getting it right. We unpacked.